I'm tired of being afraid. I feel like the actions that were taken in regards to this whole situation have put me in a different type of fear at my age now, and it was wrong, and I don't want to be afraid anymore.
So it looks like there is some trouble in the Queen's castle because Nicki Minaj's husband just got himself in some major trouble. Y'all know he's in court for failing to register as an offender and he just got sentenced. You guys are not going to believe his punishment, and even, wait, hold up, Nicki did what? So Nicki Minaj has not been having a good time in the past couple of weeks, and it looks like she just keeps going from one situation to the next. There was the Essence Festival where she said that someone was trying to sabotage her and they didn't want to pay her. Oh, and her performance was also not live stream as announced, and we had to depend on Instagram live streams to see her performance for the first time in years. Oh, and don't even get me started on the whole thing about how she called Kanye a clown and how she got dragged for it. Yeah, it was just an entire mess. But trust me, that's nothing compared to what she's currently going through. Her husband, Kenneth Petty, or as the internet likes to call him, Mr. Nicki Minaj, was recently sentenced to 3 years probation and a year's house arrest because he failed to register as an offender. Okay, let me give you guys a quick recap to make sure that you still remember everything, because y'all know I like to keep my baddies updated. So as it turns out, Kenneth had mistreated a woman named Jennifer Huff back in 1994, allegedly, and he went to prison for his alleged crimes. There have been claims that Kenneth was innocent, and all I'm gonna say is that the cases of violation are known to be hard to get a judgment for. So if he went to prison, then there was definitely some kind of evidence that showed that he was guilty, allegedly. Anyways, that was back in 1994. So let's skip forward a couple decades to when he married Nicki Minaj. Everything was going great until 2020 when we found out that Kenny had failed to register as an offender in California, where he moved to after getting married to Nicki. This was actually a requirement since he's a convicted offender. This was when we all found out about it. And let me tell y'all, the internet has lost its ever-loving mind over this news. The public said it was crazy that all of the men that she could have picked to get married to start a family with, she chose the one who had hurt a woman in the worst way possible. Even worse, she tried to defend him, like the time when she said, he was 15, she was 16 in a relationship, but go off. Y'all can't run my life, y'all can't even run your own life. Nah, y'all, I have secondhand embarrassment from even reading this out loud. But it gets worse because the victim, Jennifer, came out to say that she was being harassed by Nicki and her fans. She claims that Nicki offered her money to recant her story and say that she made up the entire story about Kenneth. So basically, allegedly, Nicki was trying to use money to buy her husband some innocence so that they could come out and say that he was falsely accused. Jennifer then sued Nicki and Kenneth for harassment, for causing her to lose her job and a whole lot of other things. However, she withdrew her lawsuit against Nicki at the last minute because it was about to be thrown out of court, and we haven't really heard much about her lawsuit against Kenneth. So back to the issue of Kenneth failing to register as an offender in California. Now, I don't know why he failed to register. It could be that he was scared for the internet finding out. It could be that he was planning to do it but never got around to it before he was found out. I don't think that we'll ever know the true reason. But anyways, he initially pleaded not guilty but changed his plea to guilty a couple months later. So on the 6th of July 2022, he appeared before a judge and he was hit with a $55,000 fine, which really isn't that much to him because Nicki is worth more than 100 mil. So 55,000 is probably just some chicken change. But that's the easiest part of this sentence because he was also sentenced to 3 years of probation as well as a year of house arrest. This means that he can't leave the house for a year. And while a year seems like a long time, prosecutors kicked against this because Kenneth and Nicki live in a super lavish mansion. They felt like the year's house arrest and 55,000 was too lenient on him, considering the severity of the crime. But the judge upheld the judgment because he claimed that house arrest is house arrest whether you live in a tiny apartment or you live in a mansion. So yeah, the ruling is final. Mr. Nicki Minaj is going to have to stay within the mansion for the next year. I completely get why the prosecutors were trying to say that because from what I've seen on Instagram, Nicki's house is pretty massive, and I'm willing to bet that there are rooms that Kenneth has never even seen before. But also, their house has a pool, a tennis court, a game room, and probably other fancy stuff like a cinema and a gym. And if they don't already have those, it's probably not going to be a hassle to get them. So if we're being honest here, is it really a punishment or just really a long lavish vacation? Many fans have also said the same thing, with someone saying, maybe it's just me, but I feel like offenders should not be allowed to serve their sentence in a mansion. This other person said, he's not doing time then. And another fan commented, Nicki getting changed from her purse while her husband chills in the mansion for 1 year, and y'all telling me money can't buy happiness? It goes without saying that Nicki has also been directly affected by this. I think that this has been the biggest scandal of her career so far, and it's going to be pretty tough for anything to top this. I mean, can you think of anything worse than being dragged for something where your spouse did before you even met him? Child, this is just messy. As you can expect though, Nicki has also been dragged by fans on social media, and someone said, wonder how much money she spent between her husband and brother both being offenders. And this is actually kind of disturbing. Another fan tweeted, Nicki referring to Kanye as a clown when her husband is a legit offender is pure irony. And this other person said, just Nicki Minaj calling Kanye a clown then going home to her violator husband to think of new ways to intimidate his victim? Only one clown here says, sheesh. Now, Nicki has been trying to keep a bold face on social media, acting like she isn't at all bothered by the sentencing and the fact that her husband cannot leave the house for the next year. For example, she posted this picture of Kenneth and Papa Bear on Instagram not long after the sentencing. She didn't add any caption and just used a couple of emojis instead. This is her way of showing the world that she is going to stand by her man no matter what happens, for better or for worse, in sickness and in house arrest. She gonna stick beside him. She also sent a message to the haters when she posted these pictures on Instagram and captioned them, here goes some haterade, get your thirst quenched, style on this Burberry trench. So if you've been dragging Nicki, just know that she's flipping you the middle finger and saying that you're a hater, even though she's the one who married Kenneth, reportedly tried to bribe the victim, got herself sued, and is being clowned on social media. You guys know how much I love Nicki, but I really can't defend her on this one. But even though she is all bold on social media, sources have revealed that she is actually very bothered and worried about a lot of things. For one thing, the source revealed that she is going to have to cancel all the family trips that she and Kenneth plan to take Papa Bear on. But this is the very least of her worries, because her main concern is about how this is going to affect her career and her legacy. And I get this because Nicki's name is always going to be associated with this. So whenever someone tries to bring up this issue, he's always going to be referred to as Nicki's husband. The source also claimed that Nicki isn't all too bothered about how badly she's being dragged online. The source also confirmed that Nicki isn't all that bothered about how badly she's being dragged online. She's more worried about how this will affect her legacy and she has tried to build over the years. I understand the concern because the dragging is going to stop after a couple of weeks. But her legacy is more long term, and if people keep associating this with her, then her legacy is not going to be as pure as it could have been. I wish I could tell Nicki to not be worried, but I'm not gonna lie, I think she should be. But in the coming years, we're going to have to see how big of an impact this is going to have on her career. But anyways, I know you guys love to hear me spill the tea on messy drama, so check out this video because I spilled some hot tea that's going to blow your mind.